What's up, expats and travelers alike? I'm Josh with Expats Everywhere.
And I'm Kalie.
And today we're going to talk about top 5 reasons that expat life is awesome in Singapore. And if you guys hang around to the end, we're going to give our 2 cons.
Okay, so let's get started.
Number 5.
The people. The people there are great, and one thing that I really love about Singapore is expats are super common there. So it's really common to see all different types of cultures, different types of people. So because of that, Singaporeans are used to it, so it doesn't feel foreign, I guess you could say. It's more like home because there's such a mix, and you can make it feel very homey for yourself rather than feeling like you're in a foreign country.
And you know what they say, that variety is the spice of life, and they definitely have variety when it comes to people. So Singapore does it right when it comes to just living in harmony with multi-races and ethnic groups, whatever. So it's pretty cool to see how all of these people get together and they just become Singaporean, or they are Singaporean. So that's really great. But like Kalie said, when you're an expat there, you don't necessarily feel so much like a foreigner. You're not so excluded. Singaporeans are definitely super friendly and willing to become your friend, get you integrated into the culture, teach you a bit of Singlish. You will get lost in Singlish. That's pretty fun. Yeah.
The people are great.
The people are definitely great.
Number 4. The size of Singapore is actually something that's really great. It looks like a tiny little island, but there is so much to do on this tiny little island. And it's nice because even though traffic is pretty crazy and it will take you a long time to get places, you can actually see everything in the country, which is not very common for most countries, I would say.
Yeah, and the other thing with size is there are a lot of different districts or boroughs, like Kalie said, neighborhoods we'll call them, that have a lot of variety or give a lot of variety to Singapore. So that also helps with the size. The fact that you have this small country that has a lot of variety and you're able to get around and visit each place if you want to, if that's the type of thing you're into. The other cool thing with the size kind of piggybacks with being able to travel outside of Singapore. You're never too far away from the airport. So I think that that's awesome. You can get to the airport, and if you get a bit bored, maybe, which you shouldn't because there's so much to do there, but you can go and take an international trip somewhere.
Yeah, like Josh said, even though it is small, there is so much to do there. There's anything you can think of, from experiences to going out and doing foodie things, cafes. So really, Singapore has everything to offer, and it's just jam-packed in this little island. And
number 3 is food. Now, we talk about that variety is the spice of life, so we have to talk about food. The food in Singapore is absolutely incredible. And I'm not just talking about the Singaporean food, which is unbelievable because it is really, really tasty, but you can find it for very, very cheap prices. So you can get a great meal for around $2 USD, depending on where you are in the city. If you're in a more central location, it might cost a little more, but maybe only like $1 USD more than you would pay for somewhere outside of the city center. Going beyond that, and not talking just about the Singaporean food, is the international food on offer is remarkable. You have so many options. Basically, you think of any type of food that you want to eat, you can find it in Singapore.
Right, so Singapore has all of its different little neighborhoods. So you have like Little India, Chinatown, and all of them are chock full of different types of restaurants with that cuisine. So you really can find all those different boroughs, what you're looking for, and just really, really good food, very authentic good food. And then also Singapore is known for their hawkers. What are hawkers?
Yeah, so a hawker is basically an outdoor food market where you will be able to try generally local dishes. There are some hawkers that have more westernized dishes, but you'll be able to get some of my favorites. I don't know if I would say some of our favorites, but mixed rice. So mixed rice is great because you can go, you get white rice, and then you get a choice of different types of meats that are always really flavorful. I'm not saying they're always the healthiest options, but they're super flavorful. You get a meat, you get a couple of vegetables. The one particular hawker that I like has this amazing gravy on it. Like, I don't know, I was called a gravy or a sauce. Brilliant. And you pay like $2.50 USD for that.
So that's on the cheaper end. So the hawkers are all over the country in different locations. And depending on where you are, kind of depends on how much it will be at that hawker. And the variety there is great. And like Josh said, there's a lot of places where you can just like point to stuff that you want. You might not even know what it is, but you're like, I'll choose that meat or that vegetable, or you can ask. So that's really great. And the hawkers are the cheaper side of Singapore, but then really the sky is the limit for food.
Champagne brunches.
Yeah, you can pay a lot for food. Yes, a big thing in Singapore, especially for expats, but really for everyone, is to do brunches. So you have like brunches or teas, and you pay for it, but woo, it's good. It's either buffet style or they'll bring stuff to you, and it's just yummy food.
Yeah, it's incredible. But for those you're looking at anywhere between, I don't know, 50 USD up past 150, 200 USD. It can be that high depending on if you're talking about fine champagne and caviar, like legit fine champagne and caviar. Plus, we're talking about a lot of restaurants you can go to that are partnered with celebrity chefs, especially if you head over to Marina Bay Sands. Marina Bay Sands is a fantastic casino, hotel, resort. Most of you have probably seen the picture of Marina Bay Sands. It's such an iconic building in Singapore, amazing rooftop pool. There you can find a lot of restaurants, Western restaurants, that are high priced.
Yes, so really the food is great. You can find anything you're looking for at any price range. How about number 2? Safety. Singapore is an extremely safe country, and some people might say it's because of their harsh laws, but honestly, if you're not doing anything wrong, then it's really nice because it's really safe. And as a female, I can be walking around at 2 a.m. anywhere and feel comfortable. You can have money hanging out of your back pocket and people aren't going to steal from you. So a huge pro about living in Singapore is it's a really, really safe country.
Yeah, we don't recommend just walking around with money hanging out of your back pocket, but like legit, you could have some money showing or something and people will tell you like, hey, you might want to put that away. Someone might steal it. Although the likelihood of that happening is probably pretty low. You know, I found it really funny that whenever we would go visit a place and maybe a robbery had happened there, they actually show what the incident is and then what date it is. But the funny thing is, it would be like a date that was months ago. So it's like, man, if this place has only been shoplifted one time in 4 months, that ain't so bad.
Yeah, that was the main thing. It was a lot of more like shoplifting rather than something that was done person to person. And another thing that's really nice about it is you'll see that people will save their tables or their spots with their purse or their phone or even their wallet. So you'll just see it sitting there and no one's going to take it. So it's just really a safe country.
No doubt.
Number 1 on our list is
the location. Singapore is ideally located for those of you that like to travel. It's an amazing hub. Changi Airport is just getting better by the year. It's been rated as the top international airport in the world multiple times, and it's just so awesome. What do you think about the location?
Well, for one, I'm just going to comment on Changi. It's amazing. It has like a slide and a movie theater and I mean anything you can think of, it has. And it's so beautiful and it's so clean and it's just so well organized and well done. So the airport is amazing. And yes, the location of Singapore really allows you to travel and see a lot of countries. It's in a really good location where it is for Asia.
Yeah, there are cheap flights to neighboring countries. So you can get to Malaysia quite easily. You can get to Indonesia easily and very cheaply, but then you're also close to places like Thailand. Even if you want to go on a longer flight, you have direct flights to Australia, so it's pretty amazing.
The location is great. Those are our top 5 reasons why we love Singapore, but let's go ahead and get into some bonus material with cons. I'll say one and Josh will say one.
Yep. So thank you guys for hanging around. If you guys enjoy stuff like this, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. You are really vital to our channel's growth. We've seen some amazing growth. We've also talked about Singapore before. So if you want to check out that video, we're going to put the link in the description and it'll probably be floating around up here somewhere. My number 1 con about Singapore is the price. So Singapore is expensive. Now, we found a way to work around this, and if you guys have seen our House Hunters International episode, I talked a lot about price on that episode, and you know, Singapore is expensive, especially the housing. The housing is very expensive. Food can be expensive, like we said. If you eat local, then it'll be okay. But if you want to have some of the more international dishes, you're gonna pay for that. Be aware of that. I think that the bills are not so bad. They're pretty similar to the US, for example, maybe Australia as well, Canada as well. The price of alcohol is crazy expensive. It's really hard to find a deal on any alcohol consumption. Now, I will say this, there is a thing about being an expat in Singapore, or even being a local there, I'm sure, where you're trying to hunt for the different happy hour deals because it's so expensive. You're trying to find the best deals around where you're getting 2 for 1s, or you're getting some percentage off, or ladies drink for free, or whatever. But yeah, Singapore can be very expensive. Having a car there, woo!
Oh yeah, that's
really expensive.
Yeah.
So yeah, my con is it can be expensive. We found a way to make it work on decent income. We weren't super rich, living the high life, but we also weren't on a low income either. But we made it work.
So for me, thinking of cons for Singapore is actually really hard because I really love it there. But if I had to say a con, I would say the haze. And this is something that Singapore can't really control, unfortunately, because it comes from Indonesia and Malaysia. But pretty much they do this slash and burn, and there's this haze season where, depending on the wind patterns, the haze will come across Singapore. And it's just a really big bummer because it's gross outside. So it gets very almost foggy looking, and it's better to wear masks, especially if you are older or young or have respiratory issues. And so it's kind of an unfortunate thing for Singapore. We were there one year when the haze was really, really bad, and it would just drag on for months. And so that kind of stinks. Now, thankfully, it's not normally like that. And it is kind of a seasonal thing, so it's not terrible. And again, Singapore can't really control it. They try to, but they can't. So I would say one con about Singapore is sometimes, especially if you do have respiratory issues, then the haze could be an issue for you.
Yep. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Again, if you would, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Peace.